Good evening and welcome. You're watching the NewsTrack. I'm Rahul Kanwal. The political stock exchange for Tamil Nadu. Which way are the winds blowing? What's the level of popularity of the Chief Minister, the government, the leader of the opposition, and where does superstar Vijay fit into the mix in battleground Tamil Nadu? That and more coming up on tonight's edition of the political stock exchange.
Political temperatures soar in Tamil Nadu. Vijay warns of a political storm. Can superstar Vijay make an impact? Who do voters want as next Chief Minister? Who will be the Thalapathy of Tamil Nadu? Political stock exchange.
The state of war in Tamil Nadu is heating up with elections next year. Political temperatures are rising. Superstar Vijay held a general body meeting of his party in Chennai on Friday, where he declared that the 2026 assembly elections will be a direct fight between his party, the TVK, and the DMK. The actor turned politician hit out at both Chief Minister Stalin and Prime Minister Modi in his speech. Can Vijay be the Thalapathy that Tamil Nadu elections have been built out to be about in the past? Can he do it again? What Karunanidhi, MGR and Jayalalitha have done?
It was a year ago that Tamil superstar Vijay debuted as a politician with the launch of his party, Tamizhaga Vetri Kazhagam. On Friday, to mark the anniversary, he held TVK's first General Council meeting. Massive cutouts welcoming Vijay were put outside the venue, and the entrance had been designed to resemble the state secretariat. Tamil Nadu goes to polls next year, and Thalapathy Vijay made his intent clear. This was the first time that the actor turned politician took on Chief Minister and DMK Chief MK Stalin directly.
மாண்புமிகு திரு முத்துவேல் கருணாநிதி ஸ்டாலின் அவர்களே, மக்கள் விரோத ஆட்சியை மன்னராட்சி போன்று நடத்துற இவங்க ஒன்றியத்துல பாஜக ஆட்சியை ஒரு பாசிச ஆட்சின்னு அடிக்கடி அறைகூவல் விடுத்துவிட்டு அதுக்கு கொஞ்சம் கூட குறைவில்லாத அதே பாசிச ஆட்சி தானே.
தமிழ்நாட்டு அரசியல்வாதிகள் பல பேர் இன்று இரவு தூங்க முடியாமல் தூக்கத்தை கெடுத்து விட்டீர்களே தலைவா.
Vijay is positioning himself as an alternative to the DMK and the NDA in Tamil Nadu. He also had some strong words for the Prime Minister and his government at the center.
மாண்புமிகு திரு மோடி ஜி அவர்களே, ஆனா தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு பட்ஜெட்ல நிதி ஒதுக்க மாட்டேங்கிறீங்க. இங்க படிக்கிற நம்ம பிள்ளைங்களோட படிப்புக்கு நிதி ஒதுக்க மாட்டேங்கிறீங்க. டீலிமிட்டேஷன் என்ற பெயர்ல தமிழ்நாட்டோட பார்லிமெண்ட் சீட்ஸ்லயும் கை வைக்க பாக்குறீங்க. தமிழ்நாட்டை கொஞ்சம் கேர்ஃபுல்லா ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுங்க சார்.
The DMK has branded Vijay BJP's B team, while the BJP in the state is also dismissive of the superstar politician.
அரசியல் என்பது வெறும் மைக் எடுத்து பேசிவிட்டு கை காட்டிட்டு போறது அரசியல் கிடையாதுங்க. இன்னைக்கு இவங்க எல்லாமே யாருன்னா அரசியல்ல யார் சக்தி வாய்ந்தவராக இருக்கிறாங்க அவர்களை பத்தி பேசினா ஒரு மைலேஜ் கிடைக்கும்.
MGR, Jayalalitha, Vijay, Kamal Hassan and now Vijay. Is Tamil Nadu ready for another cinematic political blockbuster? With Anaga Keshav in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Politics from the battleground state of Tamil Nadu has been in the news the past several days. So we commissioned to our pollsters at C-Voter a series of questions for the political stock exchange which give you a flavor of which way the political winds are blowing on the ground in this crucial state. I want to take question number 1, and to my mind it is a bit of a shocker. Here it is on your screen now. Response which will track quite widely across Tamil Nadu. C-Voter has polled for the India Today group, and we're now saying that at this moment, Tamil superstar Thalapathy Vijay is actually number 2 when it comes to the list of faces in the reckoning to be the next Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. So you've got MK Stalin at number 1, the incumbent Chief Minister at 27% preferred rating. Thalapathy Vijay, the Tamil superstar, launching a new party, looking to make waves on the ground, has come in at a very strong number 2. Remember, his party's only recently got started. He hasn't been tested electorally yet. Before his first big test, he's already at 18% personal popularity. This is not for his party, but on the question of who should be Chief Minister, and this is not an insignificant number, 18% is significant. You've got Palanisamy coming in at 10, the General Secretary of the AIADMK, the leader of the opposition on the ground. You've got K. Annamalai from the BJP in Tamil Nadu, the state president, coming in at 9%. There is a possibility that Palanisamy and the BJP could ally. If that happens, those numbers may change. But in the way things are at this moment, when C-Voter polled this week, Stalin came in at number 1 at 27%. And the big shock there, Thalapathy Vijay, who's been doing well on the ground, rallying crowds, getting people excited and charged up. But he's already at number 2 at 18%. So let me introduce you to our guests and then try and make sense of what's at play. Narayan Lakshman joins us, well-known journalist. We've got Vinod Salvam joining us from the BJP. I've got A. Sarvanan joining us from the DMK. I have Kovai Satyan joining us from the AIADMK. Let me go across to Narayan Lakshman first. Is this in keeping with what you've been picking up anecdotally from the ground? An 18% approval rating for Chief Minister for Tamil superstar Vijay. Do you think he's at this moment in popularity ratings just next to Stalin?
Look, Rahul, I think it's quite possible that those are the results that you've picked up through surveys. It's not surprising at all. The reason for that is Tamil Nadu has a long and colorful history of getting excited about film stars. As we know, several of them have made fantastic political careers on the back of entering through the silver screen. You can go all the way back to Karunanidhi, who's a scriptwriter, or you, of course, then have MGR himself. And then to a smaller extent, and almost failing to make as big a splash in later years, Rajinikanth, Kamal Haasan, several others made that attempt. Now, Vijay Thalapathy, again, is in that early phase of his sort of straddling those two worlds, jumping across. And he's certainly magnetic personality in the film world. And he has dipped his toe into politics in a big way. Remains to be seen whether that film-based adulation among supporters, that mass support base, can be converted into political mobilization. Therein lies the trick and the challenge, and one that has caused many modern-day film-based entrant to fail, whereas their predecessors had a much greater magnitude of success.
That's an important aspect that you're highlighting. The fact that he doesn't have a strong party structure, the fact that he's got this startup political formation. He also has Prashant Kishore backing him of the Jan Swaraj movement in Bihar. He's convinced that Vijay can be the next Chief Minister. How alarming is this, Kovai Satyan, from the AIADMK's perspective? Because you would have wanted that Palanisamy be seen as the natural challenger. It's at some level, it's a testament to the cult film-based popularity of Vijay and the absence of stature and credibility of Palanisamy to the same extent that when people are asked who is the alternative, you've got Stalin and then comes in Vijay.
So this is the resultant of the media share that DMK commands in Tamil Nadu. They command more than 80%. And whatever news that has to come out, it will only come out from the DMK side and MK Stalin's side. For the last 3 years, I've been saying in the rallies wherever I go in Tamil Nadu, the lead actor in Tamil Nadu is not Vijay, Rajinikanth, Kamal Haasan or Ajit Kumar, it is MK Stalin. That's what he has done for the last 4 years. So that is a resultant of your survey. The assembly doesn't show the what opposition leader is speaking. That's much scared that DMK is. And we don't have any presence in the frontline media. You know it pretty well. Jo dikhta hai, wo bikhta hai. And when the entire media is being threatened, not to showcase anything that is happening on the ground and the reality. So far as an opposition leader, he has given more than 600 press releases which are not taken into debates, which doesn't been carried out by the frontline media in Tamil Nadu. You absolutely have zero presence in media. That's what the reality is. So when you have a survey, all I would say is, rather than preferred CM candidate, if I had asked who is the lead actor in Tamil Nadu, the same result would have come. MK Stalin would have topped the chart. Even if you have conducted the survey with Rajinikanth or
But that's
Ajit
a
or anybody for
rhetorical
that matter.
response to an empirical question. The fact is, at this moment, Vijay is almost twice Palanisami's ratings, and you can ascribe all kinds of motives to why that's the case. This is the political reality in which you'll have to fight the next election.
I cannot make a generic statement. I don't know what's your sample survey and what's your age group. So let's not get into the market research and methodology of how the survey is being carried out. I don't want to question it. I'm just going by the numbers, what you have thrown out as your survey results. But it's too early. You yourself saying his party doesn't have a structure. Vijay party doesn't have a structure on the ground. So it's still a long way to go. Perception keeps changing faster in politics. You know it.
Let Sarvanan respond to the AIDMK's charge that basically Vijay is the DMK's B team, that you're propping him up in the hope that he takes away some of the anti-incumbency votes, and Stalin can then, because the anti-government votes get split, Stalin and the DMK come back to power.
See, Mr. Vijay is being propped up by the BJP, not anybody else. He's close to the BJP leaders. If you look at his speeches...
But he says, I heard his speech, he says at the center the BJP is his enemy. So that's not really factually correct in terms of at least what he's saying publicly.
See, there is a lot of difference, Rahul, when you say they are somebody's enemy and keeping quiet for what they have done. Have they ever criticized the BJP? See, all the problems in the state of Tamil Nadu can be directly attributed to the BJP. The way they are withholding funds, the way they are deceiving the people of Tamil Nadu. Everything is attributed there, the way they trust their policies on a successful model here in the state of Tamil Nadu. But why is he keeping quiet? And like filmy style, today he makes a statement, oh, they are saying that I have not spoken about taking names. I am saying now, Modi ji, you are my allergy. Is this how you criticize in politics? Maybe in films, yes, but not in politics. And people of Tamil Nadu, a discerning set of people with great intellect, I don't think they're going to swayed away by what Mr.
Again, you're giving a rhetorical response to a database question.
Rhetoric. No, it's not rhetoric.
Within a short while, sir, hear my question before you respond. Within a short while of this new party getting established, its leader Vijay comes in at number 2 already, ahead of an established player like Palanisamy. If I was strategizing for the DMK looking at those numbers, you'd be quite concerned. You should be quite concerned.
That's what. See, I wouldn't be concerned, because if at all somebody has to be concerned, that is the ADMK party. If at all. See, likewise, the fight is always between the DMK and the ADMK. Whatever said and done about the ADMK, the weak leadership, the way they have surrendered themselves to the BJP, the point is they have a symbol, the two-leaf symbol, which is very powerful, and the organizational support up to the village level, they have organizational support. That for in an election, see, this is not a presidential referendum where you choose the CM candidate directly. It is through the MLAs. The MLAs are elected through the symbols.
No, but it's happened in the past with MGR, with Jayalalitha, with Karunanidhi. So it's not new, especially in the context of Tamil Nadu politics.
Yes, Rahul, you touched a very, very valid point. Yes, Mr. MG Ramachandran became the chief minister. He did not become the chief minister in 1976 by forming a party in 1975. He was speaking about, he was associated himself with the DMK for 20 years. He spoke an ideology. He identified himself with that ideology. Same with Selvi Jayalalitha. He did not start a party and become a chief minister overnight. Except Mr. N.T. Ramarao, Indian politics, nobody else has started a party in 1 year and has dreamt to become the chief minister in the next year and have been successful. That is not possible in Indian politics, Indian context. It's a different ball game altogether. So it's not possible. And certainly not in the state of Tamil Nadu at all.
Vinod Selvam, from the BJP's lens, the fact that Thalapathy Vijay has left the likes of Annamalai far behind, he's double Annamalai's ratings. Do you think that's inevitable given the fact that he's the reigning superstar of Tamil Nadu politics?
Rahul, let's very clearly remember that the TVK, Vijay's political party, is still in kindergarten when we talk about politics. Here in Tamil Nadu, the culture of cinema is celebrated like a religion. So people have a huge fan following, they say names, all that. But when it comes to elections, the scenario is entirely different. There was a very popular comedian called Vadivelu. He had won the hearts of everyone alike. He had no haters. But when he came out and campaigned for the DMK in 2011, DMK had the biggest defeat they had ever met in the last 20 years.
No, but Vijay is Vijay.
Coming to watch them, wave at them, saying
his stardom at this moment, sir, is comparable to Rajinikanth.
Vijay, let it be. But a political party needs an organization which takes years of building. An organization which needs to come from the grassroots. It is not something which is being formed by just giving statements once in 3 months, going and doing work from home politics, garlanding leaders' photos on stage inside your house in Paniyur under the inside a 12-feet compound. That is not politics. Politics takes a lot. Politics is what is being done by the.
Let me ask Narayan Lakshman that question. Do you think Vijay has worked enough on trying to build an organizational structure? Does he have what it takes to do the back-end work required to build a party? You're on mute.
Sorry, I just said we witnessed an interesting phenomenon, both DMK and BJP agreeing on one thing, which is that you need to work in politics, whether it's through the mode of ideology or party organization, before you can just claim your film and cinema credentials to boost yourself in the political world. And I think in that regard, Vijay definitely has a lot of homework to do. He has a very steep catching up curve because you're absolutely right to say he is the reigning superstar of the moment. There's no doubt there. But again, even look at Rajinikanth. He faced a tremendous challenge in converting the fan clubs, the mandarams, into actual voters. There's a very
but Rajinikanth never formally joined politics. He never really threw himself. He kept tiptoeing, flirting with the idea. He never dived head on.
That is true. But if you were on the ground here, you would have been witness to many of the sort of machinations happening in the background, the attempts to build up a party organization. Unfortunately, they didn't go far at all. They never got past the baby steps phase. And this is the most challenging phase for Vijay, if you ask me. I think he really is in that lift-off phase where you have to get it off the ground. And this is also where there are giant gravitational pulls within the realm of Tamil Nadu politics which can swallow you up. The DMK is extremely strong institutionally down to the village level, as was said in this panel. So is the ADMK, although they have this leadership vacuum issue. And the BJP is no, paper tiger. They have a small footprint at the moment, but they are sparing no effort to build that up. So between all of them, it's actually a dangerous sort of ground that he's walking on, and he's going to have to pick a side very quickly if he hasn't already, and openly go with it. Look at Kamal Hassan. He was very clear that he, in a larger interest of safeguarding what he described maybe.
Which side is Vijay most likely to pick?
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't want to speculate. As an editor, I shouldn't do that. But we have to read the tea leaves going forward.
So what are you reading from the tea leaves right now? Which side is he most likely to pick?
I can't speculate, Rahul. Sorry. I don't have the information. Just rumors that I've heard, and I would prefer not to comment on that.
Okay. The fact is that he's expecting that he would be projected as the main face. And that's one of the reasons why with the AIADMK, his tie-up hasn't happened. You can see what he said. He doesn't like the DMK at the state, doesn't like the BJP. So the natural alliance would be with a party like the AIADMK. But there the issue seems to be he would like to be the main face, with the AIADMK providing the structure, the AIADMK pushing back, saying, are you delusional? You don't even have a structure. It is our structure you will ride on. So I think that's really where things are stuck. But let's come to the next question, which is to do with how do people perceive the performance of the state governments? Because after 2 terms of being in power, is there now anti-incumbency enough which can upset the DMK's apple cart? Let's take a look at the response to that question. When people were asked, how do you rate the performance of the Stalin government, just 15% said that they're very satisfied. Now that's problematic. 15% is a small percentage. Satisfied to some extent is 36%, which is middling. Okay, so we're not terribly disappointed, but we're not very delighted either. Not satisfied at all is 25%. That's 1 in 4. Don't know, can't say is 24%. That's very high too. 1/4 saying we're not certain. 1/4 saying not satisfied at all. Those are definitely anti-votes. Very few percent are, very strongly pro-DMK. The bulk there is 36% saying satisfied to some extent, which means as the campaign builds, they could stay with the DMK, they could also switch away, and that's really the challenge. you can't possibly be, Sarvanan, very happy with those numbers.
Yes.
The fact that just 15% saying they're very satisfied and 25% saying not satisfied at all, and the bulk is, somewhere in the middle and somewhere in between. Those seem like very slippery voters to me.
No, absolutely not at all, Rahul. So there are only, after 4 years of governance, almost 4 years of governance, only 25% are not at all satisfied. Of course, you can never satisfy the 100%, then everybody will be ruling the country for 100 years. So that is not possible. This is very, very good. 15% are very satisfied and 36%. So almost, if you discount this 24%, can't say, you can't take them into account at all. Then the majority, 36 plus 15, 51% of the 75, 76%, 76, 51 says they are not against this government. I think that is a wonderful report card. It shows, that's what we keep saying, that there is a pro.
No, I know you're a lawyer and not a data scientist, but that's an absurd way of reading the data. The fact is just 15% are saying they're very satisfied. And you've got a bulk saying they're confused, don't know, can't say, which means they're not delighted with you.
No.
1/4 saying they're not satisfied at all, which means they're definitely against you. And 36% saying, theek hai, not too good.
Rahul, yeah, I don't know who's your English teacher. When they say satisfied to some extent, it means they are happy with the government. They are not unhappy. So people who are very happy and happy is almost 51%.
So forget English. This has not got to do with English. This has got to do with understanding how data works. Mr. Sarvanan, you're trying to hector me. I'm recovering from a cold, so allow me to speak. Allow me to make my argument. I'll allow you to respond.
Okay.
36% means satisfied to some extent. It doesn't mean that they are confirmed DMK voters. It means that they're not terribly disappointed, but they're not terribly elated. Some part of that will come into your kitty, some part will go away. That's what this campaign will be about. So if you've got in the middle 1/3 essentially saying we could go this way, we could go that way, that is of alarm to the government in power in Tamil Nadu.
No. See, Rahul, I don't know on what basis. See, if somebody who knows English, you're going to ask them this question in the state of Tamil Nadu, this is what they are going to say. If they are satisfied, then they are happy with this government. That is what I'm saying. It's 51%. 51% are happy with this government. That is how you'll have to read this data. See, we are happy. That's what I'm saying. We know what is there on the ground. How people are happy with the welfare schemes. See, one singular example which I can give how popular the schemes are is this. When you look at these schemes, all these schemes are being copied by the BJP government. In Maharashtra, they credited the victory to the Ladli Behen, where they gave, I think, 1,500 or so. They said that is the reason for the victory. And in Delhi, they promised 2,500 rupees and they had a great victory. We are running that successfully here. It is going to continue for the next year. And we all, on top of that, we have the free bus fare scheme and we have 1,000 rupees for every girl child. See, one salient and important aspect of the last 4 years of governance is the way this government has worked for the welfare of the women folk. I am very proud to say, after a long time, the women of Tamil Nadu are aligning themselves. They are finding that DMK is the party to look forward. This is the great achievement of our leader, Mr. MK Stalin.
Okay, I want to come to the next question. First, the question was about the performance of the state government. Let's now pin this down to the Chief Minister and look at how people perceive the performance of Mr. Stalin. This is his first term of being in power. Earlier it was his father who was in power, Mr. Karunanidhi. Now, when the question is asked, are you satisfied with the Chief Minister's performance? 22% say they are very satisfied, which is higher than the level of satisfaction with his government. Now, that should give Stalin some joy that his own personal popularity is 7% more than that of his government. Satisfied to some extent is 33%. Remember, when the question was asked about the state government, it was 36%. Not satisfied at all is 22%. Earlier, it was about 25%. Don't know, can't say is roughly the same. So his personal level of popularity measured by his satisfaction is higher than that of his state government, and that gives some joy to MK Stalin. What do you make of the fact that Stalin seems to have generated higher satisfaction ratings, Narayan Lakshman, than his government? And 7% is not a small percentage. It's a pretty big number of people who seem more satisfied with Stalin, the Chief Minister, than with the Stalin government.
Well, Rahul, I think part of this, if you're looking at psychology of respondents to your survey, as well as the psychology of voters in general, relates to the fact that historically, Tamil Nadu voters have always liked to have strong leaders in place. Part of it relates to the history of the Dravidian movement itself, which was seen as a dissenting voice to the mainstream politics that was happening in post-colonial India, and a need for certain caste groups to come together and class groups as well to reassert their rights and talk about state autonomy and federal politics. But from that, it also segued into broader elements that touch upon film culture and seeing, hero-like figures, whether it was, MGR or Amma or now Stalin, though Stalin, of course, doesn't have such a strong film background, but again, perceived as the sole inheritor of the Dravidian legacy. He's inherited the mantle of it quite smoothly after his father's time. The personal popularity stems from the belief that he is possibly seen as a leader who can speak up for Tamil rights, for the Tamil state, and specifically in the context of demanding rights within the federal union that is India, in negotiating, for example, to get a fair share of resources from the center for governance work in Tamil Nadu. So I think Tamils have, like Saravanan said, very acute sense of all these things. They are very sharp and they think deeply about it, and they will definitely pick a strong personality
So
leader.
let Kovai Satyan,
even if they see his party or his government maybe has failed in a few parts, they would put him above that. So your result is not surprising in that sense.
Kovai Satyan, the fact that Stalin has emerged as a hero of sorts on the issue of delimitation, on the issue of pushing back against the center, on the issue of language. Now, those are very emotional issues in a state like Tamil Nadu, and there, forget the charges of corruption or what they've done or not done. He seems to be making it bigger. Stalin versus the BJP, and that's the pitch that he's got. So it's not just about local governance and corruption kind of issues. He's making it a larger fight about Tamil pride and identity.
Rahul, having borrowed more than 3.5 lakh crore in the last 4 years and acting day in and day out for the last 4 years, this is the result. What you can expect, nothing else.
Why did you not do that?
With
Okay,
so much
Saravanan,
of
let him speak.
misplaced
Can't have two
priorities.
people speak. Fade
What
down.
kind of
No, one second. Saravanan, your fader is down. Let Kovai Satyan complete. I'll come back to you for response.
I know, but I remained quiet till such time you finished. So let's have that. This is what you expect. There are so much of misplaced priority on the ground realities. People are waiting for an opportunity to show the door to this DMK government. If assembly elections were to be held tomorrow, I can give it to you in writing that DMK will be shown the door in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
The perception index are fast changing. So precisely for this reason, for the sole reason that they are losing ground, one reason, primary reason I would attribute is not only the misgovernance and mismanagement and incompetence, elevation of his son, trying to identify or place his son as a successor to the higher ranks. That itself has not gone well with their own party men.
Let Saravanan
Forget about
respond to
people.
the
So
charge
there are
of
issues.
dynasty and nepotism in Udayanidhi
Rahul,
Stalin
I'll
being
finish.
built up
Can you
as a
finish?
potential successor.
10
Satyan,
seconds.
I'm coming
Rahul.
back to you in a moment. Let Saravanan respond to that.
See, there is no nepotism at all, Rahul. See, you can take in a democracy, you can take someone being son of somebody only to a certain extent. Then it is the choice of the people to elect him or not. If they had seen him as a dynast and not someone who is worthy to get their votes, he would not have won the election. He won the seat, and he is performing very well as the sports minister. We can't even remember who was the sports minister during the ADMK regime in the last 3 years. Almost all the international events, so many world championships are being held in the state of Tamil Nadu. That is the reason why he was given. He performed very well, and now he's being made the deputy chief minister, and the going is good. The people have seen. If that is a problem, everything would have reflected in your survey. Everybody would have said they are not happy, they are not satisfied. See, the opposition, they don't have any political capital. They don't have any political things to say. They cannot challenge us politically. That is the reason they are making this. From day one, this is what they have been saying. They said the same thing about our leader, the Chief Minister Mr. MK Stalin. They said he is a dynast. He cannot rule. Now he is the Chief Minister. People chose him. They gave him a resounding victory. Now he is being the proverbial...
Kovai Satyan, are you concerned that as images do the rounds of Home Minister Amit Shah meeting with Palanisamy, that the AIDMK, which had been seen as one half of the Dravidian argument, then gets very closely associated with the centre, and the DMK runs away with the space for Tamil identity and Tamil pride, pitching it as DMK versus the BJP.
Rahul, I hope I'll have the time to answer this question. Thanks for putting this up now. It's a checkmate for both TMK and BJP. That's what our leader has done. Ek patar mein do aankh. Arey yaar, BJP needs DMK as a standby if Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar fails in the run. So DMK will come as a backup. So what our leader has done is he went to Delhi, highlighted the failures and incompetence of MK Stalin and his failure to retrieve the state rights starting from Meghdadu and the thousands and thousands of crores of corruption that is happening. So he has given a list of failures of DMK government and sought the central government's intervention to take action. So no, it's a checkmate for BJP.
Okay.
If they dare to go and take action. And the second point is, narrative after narrative what MK Stalin is trying to build, saying that he is a savior and custodian of Tamil Nadu and Tamil right, has been clearly exposed. What is his call in Meghdadu? Nothing is being done. What has happened to NEET? With one signature, it will go away. Now he is struggling to make NEET go away from Tamil Nadu. All the tall promises to retrieve state rights and protect the interests of Tamil Nadu people has
on
gone.
The questions as well. I want to come to the next question, which is to do with the performance of the leader of the opposition, which in this case happens to be Palanisamy. That AIDMK hasn't fractured and fragmented in the way some doomsday proponents may have thought. But how do people look at his performance? Very satisfied is just 8%. That is quite low, frankly, given that he has had a largely unhindered run as leader of the opposition, because all the other players are now very deeply marginalized. Satisfied to some extent is 27%. The big number there is not satisfied at all, which is 32%. One third, 33% say they don't know, can't say. The big number there is not satisfied at all. Satisfied to some extent, 27%. Very satisfied is just 8%. Now, Khowai Satyan, that is the problem, which is also why someone like a Vijay has so much allure. The fact that your leader of the opposition, your general secretary, simply hasn't been able to rouse the Tamil people.
Rahul, I answered in my opening remarks. 80% plus market share in regional medias, where regional medias are being threatened not to put anything from our opposition leader. More than 600 press releases. I'll give you one small example.
No, but you have to find some way of communicating your message. This is hardly a valid argument.
Ek minute. I'll give you an example. During AIDMK regime, a 3-year-old kid which fell inside the borewell dug by his grandfather, it's a private land. The entire regional media went all gaga for 3 consecutive days by putting it live. Now tell me, whatever is happening on the ground, our regional medias have been given the free hand to telecast it. I am banned from participating in debates by DMK because they back out if I come for debate. The exception is only English channel, thanks to the courage of Mr. Saravanan. This is what the reality is. Regional media is 80% and they are flooded with sleeper cells of DMK. Jo dikhta hai, wo bikhta hai. If you can't have the media space, what is the point in putting up a perception in the minds of the people? That game will start only the election fever sets in. That's where our leader will start making the right noises at the right platform. Even media has to realize what they have done so far.
Okay.
They can't be the chamchas of DMK anymore.
Lakshman, the fact that for the protestations that we are hearing from the opposition about the regional media being unfair, A, how true is that? B, more importantly, the fact that just 8% seem to be very satisfied with the performance of the leader of the opposition. His performance seems quite poor, 32% saying not satisfied at all. You're on mute.
Sorry, as to the first part of your question, I think it reflects the fact that certainly the DMK is a powerful entity in the media sphere as such. We know about, the Maran brothers, the General, Sun TV, all of it. It's a powerful group. But to take that well-known fact to the extent threats or something, I am not aware of it. I know that we stand privileged with the English media in this and with the print media. We're not part of the television media. But at the same time, we are acutely aware. We hear what's happening at the ground. And I don't think anyone has been shut out from the system. That is a bit of a tall claim. I do think certainly influence plays a role as it does in national
I'm
politics.
sorry,
Kawai
Lakshman.
Satyan's fader goes down. Let
so-
Narayan Lakshman complete.
Yeah, sorry. So this is what I have picked up. Maybe Mr. Kovai Satyan has a different information and is at receiving end of it, but I am not aware of this. The second is the more important question here, which is his Palanisamy, while he was an extremely effective person to govern the state, his time as chief minister was phenomenal for the state. I cannot deny him that. He, however, due to his predecessor's insistence on maintaining a vice-like grip on power and not nurturing leadership below her, led to a failure of building the kind of intra-party and between-party alliances to keep him steady, to keep his party steady, and to potentially keep a future AIADMK government steady. They have been completely crippled, the rug pulled under their feet by their own dear leader who passed before them. And that's why he has struggled, despite being an able administrator and chief minister, to maintain that level of confidence that he can project to the voters that he can deliver a second term on the same parameters of success. They do not have that faith. Therefore, if you're looking for a second option to the DMK, they are turning to people like Vijay and others.
And that's a big problem. I think the data captures that very starkly. The fact that 18% are looking at someone like a Vijay, a new entrant in the political field, rather than going back to the AIDMK, which would be the principal opposition party ordinarily. Let's come to the most important issue for the voters of Tamil Nadu. So when this question was asked that what matters most, it's interesting that women's safety came up at the top with number 1. 15% of the respondents saying women's safety was their number 1 issue. Rising prices came in at number 2 at 10%. Alcohol and drug abuse came in at 10%. And unemployment came in at 8%. So the big factor there, women's safety, rising prices, alcohol and drug abuse at 10, unemployment at 8. Corruption doesn't feature amongst the first 4 issues. Not that it is not an issue, but what the BJP hits out or the AIDMK tries to hit out isn't seen as that being that high. What do you make, Narayan Lakshman, of the fact that women's safety has come in as the number 1 issue for the voters of Tamil Nadu in this poll that C Voter has done?
Rahul, I think that's a very real concern. I think we've had several high-profile incidents where there have been assaults and rapes, and it has really struck a chord. I do think that in terms of local governance, I don't know whether it's the state government should set the tone and tenor, but a lot of this boils down to very local issues. As we know from global statistics, rape and assault and threats to women's safety usually come from a known person in a majority of cases. Obviously, here there have been many cases where it's been a stranger, and to that extent, it reflects law and order issues at a very local level, or it's not like a statewide alarm has been raised. So I think what you're seeing is the accumulation of many such small incidents, and certainly I think if the DMK wants to do better on one parameter, it needs to pull up its socks.
The fact that women's security, Sarvanan, comes up so high up in this poll, it's not, price rise, unemployment are cookie clutter generic issues, they'll feature in any poll, but women's safety is like a really strong message to Stalin and to your government.
Yes. Yeah, Rahul, I think it's a good thing that people put in women's safety as the top priority because the DMK government gives so much of importance, especially to the women.
No, that's not why they put it there. They put it there because you're not doing a good enough job. They put it there because you're not doing a good job on women's safety, which is why it's the number 1 issue. That's the way to interpret the data.
No, let me come. Allow me to speak. See, if you look at the data of the last 10 years, crimes that have taken place during the ADMK regime, and compare that with what is happening in the last 3 years, there is no increase. In fact, there is a decrease. And in the recent Times of India survey, where almost 6 cities from the state of Tamil Nadu feature in the safest cities in India for women. That is how we maintain the women's issue.
Okay, Vinod Selvan wants to come in and respond to the issues that matter to the voters of Tamil Nadu and women's security. Sarvanan interpreting the data to show that they're doing an amazing job, which is why it's coming up on top, not because they're doing a bad job. Let Vinod Selvam respond.
I remember Saravanan asking you who's your English teacher. I would like to ask him the same question. Who is his English teacher? Because it is very basic and it's very understandable that the people are very concerned.
When you come to a show about data and polling, you should ask where did you study statistics and economics and polling. That's far more relevant than where did you study English. But please go on.
Who is your max
So,
teacher?
it is very concerning what is happening to the women of the state. The number of cases of molestation, harassment have been going up by the day. And somewhere, if you see, all these people are related to anyone who is a part of the DMK. So, being in the DMK or using the DMK flag in the car gives them the signal, gives them the license to do whatever atrocities against women and go scot-free. Also, the issue of alcohol and drug abuse has been going up extremely high. And also, with regard to the survey, I was a little concerned when you were talking about Vijay getting 18%. But after you said that the DMK satisfaction is at 15%, I'm very much convinced that the survey has not been done the right manner. Because if 15% can be convinced about the DMK's good governance, it's a big joke in the state. Because everywhere you go, you find disgruntled people completely unhappy with the way this governance. There is no governance literally. It is just about how they project one family and the next prince in line, to be made the Chief Minister very soon, Vijay Stalin. I remember Saravanan also asking about has any sports minister ever performed like this before? Has any sports minister ever been given so much importance before? Have all the ministers rallied behind any one minister before like this? You see all the seniors stand up in line, most of them falling on his feet, taking blessings. That's the kind of importance it is being given this one family. It's like a monarchy what is happening in Tamil Nadu. So I don't think any of these surveys really matter. 2026 is going to be the year of the NDA, and the NDA is for sure to form the government in Tamil Nadu, notwithstanding what DMK or any LKG party like the TVK is going to come to the fray.
Well, you're being dismissive of the TVK. If their leader comes in at 18%, double that of your state president, you shouldn't be dismissive. That is absolutely correct. Let's just take the last question, which is to do with the MLA and the performance of the MLA, which is not about DMK MLAs or aiadmk MLAs, but generally, how satisfied are you with the MLA? 16% saying they're very satisfied, 32% saying satisfied to some extent, 25% saying not satisfied at all, 27% saying they can't say. So there on the issue of the MLA, the percentage of people saying they're very satisfied is 16%, 32% saying satisfied to some extent. So that's really where things stand on the issue of how people perceive the performance of the MLA. Now I want to look at really the big picture that emerges from the poll. The poll's big picture is that Vijay has emerged as an important player in Tamil Nadu politics. The question then is whether that 18% popularity he has, which is his personal popularity on the question of who should be the next chief minister, whether that translates into 18% votes for his party or not. The two are not the same thing. You could have individual popularity because you're a cine star, but that doesn't necessarily translate into popularity for your party. And I think that is really the critical question. How do you see and what do you think, Narayan Lakshman, will be most important over the next few weeks as Tamil Nadu politics heats up to determine whether he stays a fringe player who provided entertainment from the margins or comes and becomes a crucial player front and center in the next election in Tamil Nadu?
Well, two things, Rahul. One is how quickly and adroitly is he able to assemble superstars within his own party and project them as future team members in his cabinet, and who are people who have actual street cred, who can say they have governance experience, because that is the one thing that he lacks. He does not have governance experience, and as several people have said on this panel, the people of Tamil Nadu are very astute and tuned to that. They care about who is sitting on the seat, making the rules for them. That's the first. The second is, how can he actually win, and in terms of mobilizing voters and convincing them that he's a fantastic candidate politically as well, not just as a film star, because again, the intelligence of the voter does not make them blindly vote for film stars. They vote with the understanding that some film stars have used film effectively as a messaging tool to convey an important political message on how they promise to govern. It is about the promises that they make. So Vijay has to manage his team and his messaging extremely carefully and quickly and convince the people. And I still see a long gap between him and MK Stalin, who has both of those things. He doesn't have a strong film background, but he has powerful people in his cabinet, and he has that all-important track record of governance. And people have faith in that for very good reasons, because we live in difficult times. We live in times of big negotiations between center and state in terms of crises that hit every state. So you cannot have someone who's dithering, or you cannot have someone who doesn't have experience.
Let me put a couple of questions to Yashwant Deshmukh, lead cephalogist at Sea Voter. 18% people think in your poll that Vijay should be the next Chief Minister. That's a very big finding. But what's your assessment of the ability to translate personal popularity on the question of Chief Minister to the percentage of people who think they may want to vote for his new party?
Well, Rahul, it all depends on how eventually people look at his, entire situation. Because on his own, at this point of time, as the other experts said, I don't really think he is a winning equation. He has got the winning equation on his own. But what I am really interested in watching very carefully, if the three, second, third, and fourth can come together. And because there you have got actually one name which has a face and no organization, and other two names which have an organization of sort, but not that kind of a popular at this point of time. But if they can come up to some kind of a coalition, then that's a different scenario altogether. And let's face this thing very clearly, Rahul, that as far as Tamil Nadu politics is concerned, as far as, unless there is a big face out there with an organization, Tamil Nadu politics doesn't really deliver in the way. Once Jairam Jalalita ji was gone, aiadmk had all sort of trouble, even though they had the organization, they had the infrastructure with them. Rajnikant also tried, but you remember the trackers we were running, he went up to 14-15%, and then eventually it deterred off at 6%, 4%, and then he called off the race that he's not joining the politics. So a lot depends on what Vijay does with his popularity and how carefully and how smartly he plays with his capital, and if the three of them can actually come together and mount a challenge to Stalin. Otherwise, you will see in the tracker that he remains number one. That's fine. No question about that. But it's not that there is no incumbency building up. There is a significant incumbency as far as the government and the MLAs are concerned. There is a significant incumbency which is building up. And everybody needs to remember that this is back almost like 10 years of almost 40 out of 40 member of parliaments are also with this group. So, it's not that incumbency is not there. How much the opposition can actually, think of coming together properly and then utilize their individual strength to come up into an alliance which can challenge the ruling formation.
So I think we've been able to capture some of the winds blowing in Tamil Nadu politics. Yashwant Deshmukh, Hovai Satyan, A. Sarvanan, Vinod Salvam, and Narayan Lakshman for joining me on this special edition of the Political Stock Exchange. Thank you very much. Mamata Banerjee was greeted with protests as she addressed a gathering at Oxford University's Kellogg College in London. The protesters showed up with placards, questioned the Bengal CM on the RG car rape episode and for political violence in the state. During the commotion, Mamata Banerjee dramatically pulled out a poster-sized image of herself from the 1990s, showing her with a severe head injury and bandages. Here's more.
Mamata Banerjee heckled by the Left-Wing Students' Federation of India during an address at Kellogg's College in the United Kingdom.
Where you have to allow the people to lose.
You kill Abhaya.
Don't behave like this.
You kill Abhaya.
Don't behave like this. This is a misbehaving.
This is not Calcutta.
The protesters raised "Go Away Mamata" slogans.
You can disrespect me, but you cannot disrespect.
Held posters demanding justice for Abhaya rape and murder, raising corruption and post-poll violence allegations.
You killed Abhaya. You killed Abhaya.
The Bengal Chief Minister hit back at the protesters.
You killed Abhaya.
You know, the case is sub judice, and also it is central government has taken over. It is not with us. Please don't do politics here. It is not a political state that you can do it with me in my state, not here.
Bringing out a poster of an attack against her in the 1990s. Mamata claimed there was an attempt by the left to kill her earlier.
This is you, this is you want to kill me. I was about to die. This is your atrocities. Just see, just have a look. Have a look. How you...
The Trinamool Congress called the SFI protest a conspiracy, while the BJP claims Bengal wants Mamata out.
A shameful behavior of this so-called SFI UK. It's a pre-planned, and I must say, this is a sign of utter shameful attitude of some so-called educated people.
ममता बनर्जी लंदन जा रहे हैं, भाषण देंगे तो वहाँ के लोग पूछेंगे आरजीकर में क्या हुआ। आज आरजीकर जैसा घटना तो पूरा बंगाल में हो रही है। महिलाओं की कोई सुरक्षा नहीं। सबसे नाबालिग शादी लड़कियों की बंगाल में हो रही है। हजारों लड़कियां प्रेग्नेंट है, अंडर एज। क्यों हो रहा है? ये क्या चल रहा है समाज में? ये सबको मालूम है। तो वो अगर प्रश्नों कोई करेगा, उत्तर देना है। आप बिगड़ जाएंगे, नाराज हो जाएंगे, कौन छोड़ेगा आपको?
What was meant to be a visit to attract investment for Bengal has taken a political turn. With Suryagini Roy in Kolkata, Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where we wrap up the news track tonight. For your time and your trust, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you 8 p.m. Tuesday evening. Till then, from all of us here, bye. Good night.